afternoon, good morning, good evening from any part of the world you're watching anytime you are. And today we would be working with Style3D. We'll be doing this dress I earlier created in Style3D this week. I'll be showing you guys how to make something similar to this, the drop sleeve, the hoodie part, and every other part of this dress. So we'll be creating this, and we'll also be using like Style3D default animation so that you guys can see how that work as well. And probably on our next week we try to kind of like see how we can do like simple thing and end up in blender, render, and texture the article as well. But for today's um live section, we're going to be going through how to make this piece of cloth. And if you guys do not have Style3D already and you want to download Style3D, I just put like the link in the chat. You can just click the link to download Style3D, and you're going to have like the software for free for 3 months, I think, and you're going to be able to use it to try out and start your new adventure in 3D fashion design. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Guys, remember to subscribe to my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel as well. So yeah, let's get right into it. So to start, I'm going to start with a fresh page, a fresh Style3D page. That's what I'm going to be starting off with. Then we are going to load in Style3D avatar. So I'm just going to go right here, and the resource library is where you see your avatar. So I'm just going to go to my resource library and then click on the avatar icon, then go to female since we're making a dress for a female. Then I have some default characters that I made earlier on our last Twitch, where I kind of like explained to you guys how you can use your own character in Style3D, put animation, simulate, and take to Blender or any other software of your choice. So yeah, let's just dive into it. So I'm going to click on the Style3D avatar and just wait for it to kind of like load up. Then you get something like this. You can either choose like whatever measurements you want or whatever units you want. I like to work in centimeters, so I'm just going to click centimeter and I'm going to click OK. So yeah, this is it. So this is our avatar that we're going to be working on today. You can decide to change like the look of your avatar, maybe the shoe, the hair, or anything you feel like changing. So for me, I'm going to change the skin color to a darker skin. Then I'm going to also play with the hair a little bit. So like I said, you can change it to anything you want. So I just changed the skin color. Then I'm going to try and change the hair color as well to what I want. So let's see. So you can also download different kind of assets from that's from Style3D library. You can download as much assets you want. They have like a lot of assets you can download, ranging from shoes to hair and to every other thing you want. But for me, I'm just going to stick with like what we have, like the default one we have now, and I'm going to use that one. So let's see which air, which air, which air. So I think I'll go with this air. Yeah, so this air is what I'm going to be going with. Then the next thing I'm going to do is, because I literally don't want to start this thing from scratch, so I'm going to be using their default default modular configuration. That's what I'm going to be using. So to do that, I'm just going to also still on the resource library. Then I'm going to go to like where the garment is. You can see the icon looks like a garment. Then I'm going to load up the one for the female. Then I'm just going to open up this one and say add the same measurement that you've used from onset, and yeah, you have it being added. So I'm going to shift this one to, so let's try to reduce the size of this one and kind of like shift. Then if you guys have been wondering what I use for this is called PureRef. So I think we can have it like this. So this is called PureRef. You can use it to hold your images while working. I think it's pretty much free, and you can decide to give like the artist any amount you have, but it's not necessary. It's pretty much free to use. So yeah, I'm just going to stick it somewhere here. Yeah, we can have it here. So I'm also going to reduce this a bit so that we have like more space for this. So looking at this cloth, I can see that we necessarily don't need this. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. We also do not need the sleeves right away. So I'm going to delete this as well. Then I'm going to have this as well. Then I'm just going to make sure I simulate this. So we have this. So as you can see, this is what we're trying to do. The armhole is a bit shorter, and at the same time the length of the cloth is a bit longer. So let's try to make those adjustments first. Then we also need to adjust like the neckline, the shoulder as well. So let's try to make those basic adjustments to have like this basic silhouette. Then we can move to like the hand and every other thing. So if you click on your Z is for you to like your edit your pattern, and your Q is for you to actually select and slash move. So you can either use your Z or you use your Q. Any one of the two you decide to go for. So for this purpose, I'm going to be using the Z, which is the edit pattern tool, and your Q is for your move tool. So just the Z. So I'm going to click on this point of the sleeve and click on this point as well, then hold down shift and try to move this up a bit, something like this. Then at the same time I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to also hold down shift and click on this, and I'm going to try to reduce the neckline a bit, then also try to increase this up a bit. Then I'm going to try to simulate it and see how that looks. I feel the armhole is up too much, so I'm just going to reduce it down a bit. Yeah, something like this. Then I'm going to simulate it. So we have something like this. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and add like uh, extend the length of the dress. I'm going to also still use a Z. I'm going to click on this and just increase this like this. So let's see, and I'm going to have this like this to be sure it's up to the length I want it to. I think it is. Then I want to slim fit the side a bit, so I'm just going to add like an internal line, and I'm going to add like a point to it. Sorry, not internal line. I'm going to add a point to the side to just kind of like shaping it out a bit so that it's a bit more fitted. So I'm going to be using an X. So an X to add points. Then I'll just determine where I want to add my points. I'm going to do the same thing for this side as well. Have the points here. But before you do that, I want to know like what is the actual length of the point I'm adding. So I'm just going to add like an X first. Yeah. So let's see, that's like an 18.36. So let's do the same thing here, 18.36. So yeah, and that's it. Then a Z again. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this. I'm going to hold shift and click on this, and I'm going to try to bring this inside a bit. I also feel this is extruding out, so I'll try to adjust that as well. And yeah, so we are getting there. Then I want to also, I think this is, I want to extend this O a bit downward. Yeah, like this. So I think this is perfect. Then this side as well, I'm just going to select this and right click and select this as well, and try to make sure that it's a bit straight. Yeah, so, and that's it. So now we have a bit fitted gown for the upper part of this gown. So that's how I was able to construct the upper part of this gown in few minutes using like the available modular configurator that was already provided by Style3D. So that's how you kind of like do something as simple as this. So the next thing we are going to do is we're going to move to the sleeves. So we are going to try to work on the sleeves now, and to do this kind of sleeves you're seeing, you have to also work on the material a bit. So you can use two type of material depending on how best you want it to drop. So you can create your material yourself, or you use, so I'd create my material, I'd increase like the waft and some of the other things. I would load the material now, and I will try to show you guys how the configuration look like. So let's try to get like her material. So while we are here, let me just explain a few things to you guys. So this is like your button, where you get like your button, your buckle, and some other things. This is like where you see several stages in Style3D, and this is like where you get like your materials in Style3D. So I think I'm going to load into material. So the first one is the custom material that I made. Hopefully I saved it. So let's see. Yeah, I saved it. So I'm going to load this. So, and I'm also going to load I think it's start with a P. So let's see. It's a plain, not this, not this. I think it's this one. So I'm going to, so it's called polyester plain. So yeah, I remember it was plain. So I'm going to load this as well. Then yeah, that's all we need from that part. So we have polyester plain, and we also have the custom material that I made. I'm going to try and show you guys the properties of this polyester plain. So this is the polyester plain, as you guys can see. Let's try to bring this one down here. Okay, so I want to try and drag this up. Mm, okay, let me try and drag this up. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I just did that. So you guys can see. So let's go back. So this is the polyester plain. As you guys can see on the material, we have stretch wafts. So this is 63, 63, 60 bending wafts. We have bending wrap. We have bending bias ratio. And if you can see, this buckling ratio are all zero. Like all these buckling ratios are zero. Dynamic friction is 0.03 and static friction is 0.03. But on the custom material that I had created, my buckling stiffness is 100. My buckling stiffness, I think one is right, one is left, and the other one is biased. They are all 100. And also my dynamic friction and static friction is the same thing as what we have there. And my stretch bias is 9. My stretch wrap is 27. This is 27, and this is 38, 38, and this is 38 as well. So you can adjust this thing. So if you increase this your stretch waft to maybe 60 something, the material becomes so stiff. Yeah, the material becomes so stiff. This bending raft and bending waft too as well, it makes your material stiff. So that's one thing that I had noticed. So it depends on how you really want your material to look like. That's how you kind of like configure this thing. So you can play with it and try to simulate and see how the cloth drapes or how the cloth falls. So that's how you're able to determine how the material really looks like. So yeah, so that's all on like the material property editor and how to kind of like edit this material to suit what you want and what you're doing. So this is how you can easily go about that. So let's jump back into the tutorial, or the live section rather. So this is like the base styles we've created. So I said we're going to create the sleeve next. So for the sleeve, I'm going to be using an ellipse, which is an E. So you can get your ellipse by using E, your rectangle by using S. So your ellipse is E. So I'm just going to hold down shift so that I can get like a perfect circle. I'm going to create a very small one and gradually increase the size that I have. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's zoom this back so that we can see what we've created. So you can see this is the back and this is the front. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try as much as possible to create an internal ellipse. So to create an internal ellipse on Style3D, you still make use of your ellipse tool, which is still your E. The only thing is we are creating it internally this time around and not as a pattern. So you hold down your shift, click on your ellipse, or you click on your E, hold down your shift and try to create the size you want. And I'm going to use my Q to kind of like move this. like this, to the middle or the position I want. And I'm going to right click on this and say cut, and that's it. And I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to find a way to actually have this on my sleeve. So to do that, I'm actually going to use my gizmo to kind of like rotate this like this and fit it in. So as you can see, if I fit this thing in like this and it drapes, it's going to be showing me the left side. So what I can do is I'm just going to flip it vertically. So I'm going to hold this down and right click and just say flip vertically. Then I think, yeah, it's on the right side now. Then I'm going to sew this to the sleeve. So I'm just going to turn this again so as it's properly turned like this. Yeah, something like this, so that I can see what I'm sewing. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch this up. So I'm going to use my sewing tool. You have two type of sewing tool. You have the segment sewing tool, which is like a straight sewing, and you have the free sewing tool where you can use to sew anything of your choice. But for this one, we're going to try and use the segment sewing tool to get like the points. So I think from here to here is the right, and this back as well, from here to, is it here? I think it should be here to here. So I feel, then I'm going to use this one. I feel this one is not properly done. I'm going to reverse the sewing. So to just make sure it's properly done, then use like a Q to check. Okay, I think this is done properly now. Then I'm going to just sew this up to this extent and sew this up to this extent. Make sure like it's not passing where it's supposed to stay. It's not. Then I'm going to simulate this. So yeah, something like this is what we have at the moment. Then I'm going to make this big, but before I actually make it really big, I'm going to create like it has like a buckle so that it's easier for me to kind of like stitch up together. And for that, I'm going to use the rectangle and just click my S to get the rectangle, which is this. Then I'm going to use my point to fit this rectangle in the hand of my model. Then I'm going to stitch that up as well. So I'm going to switch this off. I'm going to also pick my segment tool, which is an N, and sew this part and this part together, and I'm going to simulate this, so something like this. So but before I simulate it, I'm going to make sure I create like I'm going to create like 4 points here using an X. Then I'm going to right click and do points, which is 4 point, like I said. Then that's the point I have. Then I'm going to try and stitch this these sleeves to this one. So by clicking on each segment, this segment is going to be stitched to this place. So that's not stitched properly. This segment is going to be stitched to the next one. We'll use edit sewing too. So let's just make sure we stitch them properly first. Then this segment, why is it not? This segment is also going to be stitched to this place. And the last segment, which is this one, so we can just, this one is going to be stitched here. So yeah, we have everything stitched together. Then I'm going to just right click on each of them and reverse the sewing to be sure like it's stitched properly. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to stitch this again, reverse sewing. I'm going to stitch this again by reversing the sewing, and I'm going to stitch this again. I think that should be the last one. Yeah, by reversing the sewing. So okay, I reversed the wrong one. This is the last one, obviously. Yeah, so now that we have this stitched, I'm going to go ahead. So the reason why I did this first is so that you can probably see where you're stitching, and you do not stitch it the wrong way. It's just a medium that I'd come up with in order to stitch things properly. So I'm going to just hold down shift. So to do this, I'm going to actually hold down shift and just extend this like this. Hold down shift, extend this like this, hold down shift, extend this like this. Then I'm going to reduce this one that is inside, because obviously I don't want it to be so big. Yeah, I think so. I can go ahead and simulate now. Yeah, this is not what I want. So I'm just going to shift this. Okay, let's off the simulation. Just okay, the simulation is off. So you can make it as big as you want before you actually simulate it. You don't necessarily have to stitch it together first. But yeah, so this is coming down. So let's keep enlarging this to the size at which we want. So I'm going to hold down shift, and I'm going to just make this as big as I want, to be honest. Hold down shift, make this as big as I want, and reduce this a bit. Then make sure it is like this. Then try to simulate this. Yeah, we are kind of like getting there, but we're not there yet. You can see like this is really like falling properly. And I think I would also change the I'll also change I'm also going to change the fabric type that I have here. I'm just going to change it to um, this, and just simulate it, and yeah, try to make sure this is this. So I'm still going to enlarge this thing to the size I want. I'll keep enlarging it to make it like the size I want. So yeah, so this, and let's reduce this a bit. So yeah, okay. So let's move this to this side. I think this is big. So what we can do in that case is, let's just move this here. Let's reduce this a bit. Hold down your shift. Hold down your shift. I think it's okay like this. Yeah. So I'll fix that one later. So let's click on this and do symmetry pattern with sewing. So that's symmetry pattern with seam. So for the other side of the sleeve. So for some reasons, I don't know why this is not okay. So I just have to pick only this one and try to move it here. Then I have this like this. So let's simulate this. Okay, this is perfect in a way. Yeah. So as you can see, we already have like a similar we already have like a similar sleeve now. So this is how to do this type of sleeve. If you're trying to achieve this type of sleeve, so this is how you can achieve this type of sleeve. I'm just going to also go ahead and make this a bit tighter. So I'm just going to reduce the size. So simulate it again, and yeah, we have similar sleeves. So we are done with the sleeve part of things. So the next thing we are going to do is we're going to have to do the lower part of things. That's the next thing we are going to do. So to do the lower part of things, we don't need to recreate like our ellipse again. I'll just go ahead and copy one of these ellipse by doing Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and trying to bring it down somewhere here. Then let's zoom out, and yeah, it's here. And I'll just reset 3D pattern. Right click on your 3D window and reset arrangement select. So it's reset back to your normal 3D pattern. Then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to move this like this, and I'm going to have this like this. So this way. So I'm going to have this way like this. So let's zoom this. Then I'm going to try to attach all these points to it. So having this like this to get this thing, if I attach all this thing, it's going to be on the left side, and we want it to always be on the right side. So what we are going to do is you're going to right click and just flip this vertically. So flip it vertically like this, so that when the thing comes together, you are having the right side that is showing and not the left side of things. So after doing that, I'm going to use my sewing tool, which is an N. Just click an N on your laptop. um, so, and I'm going to sew this and this place together, this place together. No, that's wrong. This place and this place together. I'm going to go back, this place and this place together, same thing, this place and this place together like this. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side of things, this side. Then I'm going to click on this place and come and click on this place. I'm going to do the same thing for here and do the same thing here. I'm going to do it for all four sides. I'm going to do it for all four sides. So yeah, so this is it. Then I'm just going to click my space button to kind of like simulate it together. And yeah, this is it. So I feel the top is actually too long, so we might want to reduce the length of the top a bit because it feels too long now compared to what we have. So this is how to create like a bob. If you want to create like a bob dress or things around creating things that have bob in them, so this is how you kind of like create it. You just have like your ellipse, and then you sew the two parts together, so it kind of like forms some like some folds and some bob. To make it more bob, you have to play with the material to get the kind of feel you want. So but for the purpose of this tutorial, this is the feel we are kind of like going for. And so that's why I already showed you how you can play with your material and do some material configuration. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm actually going to find a way. I feel the circle is kind of like big, so I'm going to find a way to reduce this just a little bit, and make sure it is still where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to simulate that. Yeah, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the garment itself. I'm going to reduce the size of the garment itself. That's the next thing I'm going to do. To do that, we just have to click on both of them and just reduce it like this. So I think this might also kind of like affect the sleeve a bit, but yeah, we can always work on that. Yeah, so like I said, it might affect the sleeve a bit, so we can work on that like by reducing the neckline. So I think it's I pretty much like it like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and check on the dress again since we reduce it. So I'll hold down shift like this and just try to reduce this as well like this. And also if I can reduce this alone like this, and let's see if we can play with this also as well, and let's simulate. Let's see what we have. So yeah, but it's getting way better. Yeah, so I think it's getting way better. So yeah, it's kind of better now. So the next thing we are going to do is I want to see if I can increase this a bit. Okay, that's the back. Then the front too, if I can do the increments a bit. So this is just to kind of like make sure like what we have is not too, yeah, it's not too low because of the hoodie. I think it's okay like this. So the next thing we are going to do is the lower part of the dress. So you can do this in two ways. The first way you can do it is to have things pretty much fast, and you don't have to go through like a lot of stress. So for me, I just would click on this and just click on it and just do and just copy it and do it and just drape it down on it directly. That's what I would do, and create the other part that needs to be created on it and just drape it down by hiding this so that I can see how the fold is coming. So to do that, let me just show you how you can do that. So the same way at which we've done this, just Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I'm going to try and place it on it. That is because I just want to right click on it and say so just right click on it and say reset 3D. So yeah, so I'm going to zoom this back and just like this and have it like this. So something like this again, just the way we did for the other one. Then I'm going to hide this, I'm going to hide the one on top. I'm going to hide this. I'm just going to hide 3D pattern so that I'm able to see and sew this one properly. Let's lift this up. So yeah, the same way you end or you click your segment sewing to here, I'm going to sew this and this part together, this part and this part together. The same thing for the back, this part and this part together, and as well this part and this part together. So something like this, and I'm going to just show this again and simulate this time around. So you might want to give this like a 1. You might want to give this like a 1 on your layers so that it's not affecting, it's not going inside when this is trying to simulate, and you click your space bar button. So something like this so that it drapes, and this is also trying to come above it. So you just wait for a while, it comes above it by itself automatically. It's not something you have to do anything. But if you want it fast, you can assist it by dragging. But for me, I just allow it do its thing, except like parts that I'm not doing, like this one. I may want to do some artificial assistance, but I feel this part is also going to do. So yeah, probably do not need to do any artificial assistance. So let me help with a bit. So yeah, so and that's it. We have it on top of it already. So we have it like this. So the next thing I want to actually do is I want to create like an extension at the back. As you can see, this back has like an extension at the back. It's a bit longer at the back. So to do that is I'm going to also still use the ellipse. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just still use this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, the same one, and I'm going to try to reset 3D pattern. So right click on it and reset 3D pattern. So let's see, where did she go to? Down here. So let's bring her up. Then I'm going to use my gizmo to position it where I want it to be, which is on the floor, obviously, because I want to use it as an extension of the back. So I'm going to position it on the floor like this, and I'm going to try to bring it to the back like this as the extension I want to use it for. So something like this. As you can see, it's not on the right position, so let's just use this. So you need to check all angles to make sure this thing is on the right position. It can be acting funny at times, but yeah, it is what it is. So I think it's presently on the right position now. So I just need to move it back a bit. So that's okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of this circle. To be honest, I don't need it anymore. So after getting rid of the circle, I'm going to use my internal line, which is like the pen, the one that has the pen. It's your internal line. You can also customize something for it. Then I'm going to click here and click here like this, and just double click on this like this. I'm going to go back to my queue, which is my move tool. Then I'm going to go back to, so when you come here, I think X, that's the add point, but we also have like this set of stuffs here that think, I don't know why this is not opening up. So let's see. Okay, yeah, it opens up. So it's C and V, you can use it to kind of like move your curves. So let's try the C first. So for the C, you can, so it's the C we need. I think we'll pretty much also still use the smooth curve and the V at the point in this tutorial. But for now, we are only interested in the C, which is the edit curve. So I'm going to also use my move to, which is my cue, to kind of like right click and do cut. So just try to locate oh, why is this thing two? Oh, okay. Okay. I know why it is two. It's placed on each other. This is the one on that address. So just try to locate. This is the one we need. We don't need this one. I'm just going to go ahead. I think this is the one I want to use. Well, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this one. Delete this one. Then for this one, just what I'm just going to do is I think I can turn it to give me what I want. So let's turn it like this. Yeah. Okay, I can simply still leave it like this and just use the same tool we had used before to kind of like do the shape we want. Yeah, this is the shape we want. Then I'm going to use my edit segment sewing to sew like the part at which I want to sew together. So to do that, I can do it to know the back part and X and be sure like this is the part I want to sew together, or create an X here for proper assurance and just do this and use your segment sewing tool to sew this edge and this edge together and this edge and this edge together. So you have to be sure the sewing is correct, then right click. Even if you're not sure, you are going to be sure after like the sewing. So there's something like this is what we're looking for. But yeah, what we are going to do now is we're going to try to, so this is the part I'm going to use like a Z, and I'm just going to select this point, right click and select this point, and just right click on both of them and do convert to curve. Then select this line and select this line and just match them together. Okay, I think something is definitely wrong somewhere. Okay, so I think I did that wrongly. Okay, so okay, it needs to, let's make it one sewing and see. So yeah, let's just get rid of the sewing first and just make this like a single sewing, and this also a single sewing. Okay, okay, then let's merge it together. Let's use the Z. Let's click on this and click on this as well, and let's try to merge. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. What if we rotate it? Let's try and rotate it. Let's use a Q. Let's just select this and rotate this like this, and let's attempt to merge it together. I don't know why it is not merging together. It's supposed to merge together ordinarily. So let's try that and merge now. For some weird reason, it's not working. um I don't know. So let me try and see if there's anything that is wrong with this. Okay, I think I would need to figure this out much later, or we can probably create another one and try to see what the problem is. So let me just lift this thing up like this and simulate it like this and see now if we are lucky enough, or we just attempt to create another one and see what the problem is. 'Cause normally it's supposed to match. Okay, now okay, is this is okay. Let's see if we click on this and click on, so match is not even showing like that. So it only shows if I click on this and I right click and click on this and I do match. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is not matching. This is not what I imagine. So you know what? Let's just try and create another one. Probably we are able to figure out what the problem is. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. And I'm going to go ahead and Ctrl C, Ctrl V this one here. Then I'm going to go ahead and create I'm going to go ahead and create this line here. So let's see. Okay, using this one, I'm just going to right click on it and say reset 3D to 2D. Come here, make sure this is in 0 and not in 1. Yeah, then I'm going to turn this like this and try to bring this down just this way. So click on this, drop it down. Would be a bit fast this time. We are almost done, to be honest. We are almost done. I'm going to bring this to the back and this to the side. So let's cut again and see where the problem is. I'm going to use the pen tool to just click on this and click on this, click on this and click on this, and I'm going to cut. So let's use our Q, our Z to select this and select this, and right click and do cut. Okay, so this pattern is this one is this one. Okay, I press F12. I'm just going to delete this one. So this one Z, I'm just going to convert this one and this one and this one to curve points. So let's right click on them and convert to curve points. So let's use our edit curve tool. Let's see if that works. Okay, from this point to okay, let's just use this one to from this place to this place like this. Then I'm just going to cut using the Z, right click as well, and cut this. Okay, then use your Q, your move tool to select and delete, select and delete. Then Z, I need to convert this to a curve point. Let's delete points. Okay, this one also delete points. Okay, so select this and select this, and let's see if we can just merge it together directly without the sewing, so that we know, like, okay, select this as well. Use your right. I'm not holding my shift, but you have to hold your shift and merge. Let's see, still the same thing. So something is definitely wrong somewhere. I don't know where it is. Well, I'm going to try something. Let me do this. Let's try and merge it in the front. If that works. So convert to curve point. So I'm going to try and match this and hold down shift and match this together just to see what the problem is. So let's merge now. Okay, that also did not work, but I'm just going to take it to the front and see if it works. Okay, let's turn this like this. Okay. Okay. So let's try this and see if it works. If it does not work, we'll just go ahead and sew it. I would figure out what the problem is later, guys. But yeah, and if you know what the problem might be, it's not working as well. Okay. Okay, I think another thing, like, I can explore changing the material. So let's explore changing the material and see. Let's put both of them as a default material. Let's just do default material and see if that helps in a way. I don't know, this is just me trying to see where the problem is, and what the problem is. When I was trying to create a style, I didn't have this problem. So let's see. Oh, it's even much worse now. Okay, let's just sew it together. Let's just have this and this sewn together like this. And yeah, fix whatever the problem is later, but it would be nice if this thing is merging together. So let me try and merge with the sewing, but I can't merge with the sewing. Deactivate connected pair, add points, reverse sewing. But yeah, let's give it one more shot. Or probably let's try to make this a curve like this. Okay, then this and this. Let's now right click and then see match. This is 470 and this is what okay, 286 and 470. Okay, let's try to change this to 2. Okay, this is 286 and 470. Change length 286. Let's see on both sides. Let's see if this works now. Okay, okay, this is like 5 something now. It's not number 2 something, but let's see match. Oh, I think it works now. Okay, 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 I think it works now. So probably okay. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Before I simulate, I'm just going to go ahead and change the material so that we don't have that okay, it still happens. Oh, yeah, I think it worked now, which is so I've really not figured out why it didn't work initially. I only added to the I've not figured out why the match didn't work. I only added to the material and it worked, but there must be a reason why it's not working initially. I would figure that out, guys, and let you and try to get more insight on why the margin was not working initially and why it worked when I kind of like increase the size from the initial size we had, which is something I still don't get. So yeah, let's just go ahead and try to assist it a bit by making sure this is so making sure this is proper. Mm, okay, yeah. So I'm just going to yeah, just adjust this a bit. I don't want to spend too much of time in adjusting it, but I'm just going to do it like so it looked nice actually. So that's what I'm just trying to do. It's not like I'm trying to really like adjust it that much, but yeah, to give it like you can also use your fullness to give him like more fullness if you want, so depending on like what you want and how you want it. But for now we're just going to leave this like this and move to the other things. So what we are going to move to now, and which is probably like the last thing, is going to be the it's going to be the, what do they call it, the OD. And to be honest, I still feel this is long, so I'm just going to try to reduce this, hold down shift, reduce this a bit. Yeah, then try to move both of this up, then also click on this and try to extend this as well. Yeah, something like this, then simulate by pressing your space or simulating directly. So yeah, so I can make this a bit, yeah. So I might just want to adjust this a little bit, and maybe this like this like this too. So all this adjustment depends on your taste. Really, it's not like it's The most important thing is to get like the silhouette, the chords, and every adjustment, either big or small, depends on your taste. So yeah. So this is this. So the next thing, like I said, is we're going to try to work on the hoodie. Mm, so yeah, let's just get right in. So for the hoodie, we are going to be using the rectangle tool, which is obviously our S. So just click on your S and you have your rectangle tool, and you can create like your shape that you want to use. Just create it. Use your that's your point to kind of like locate where you really want it to be. So I want it here. This is pretty much small, so I'm going to just go ahead and continue to adjust it from here. Number one, I want it a bit longer, a bit wider, a bit longer, a bit wider. Then yeah, I still want it, so I want to drop the bit like this. Then I still want it a bit wider than what I have. So something like this, and a bit longer than what I have still, something like this. And I'm also going to do like, so after having this, the next thing I'm going to do is I want to actually shape up the side of things. So I'm going to be using my V or my smooth tool. So to use your smooth tool, just click on this, and yeah, just like this. So you have the curve here already, like we wanted it. Then click on this as well. Then do symmetry pattern with sewing, or just symmetry pattern. Then it's on the other side of things. I think I'll just do symmetry pattern, to be honest. So yeah, I think I'll just do symmetry pattern because the front and back are not kind of like the same thing. So symmetry pattern, this one. Then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all this back together using my straight sewing tool, which is my N, or my freehand sewing tools. Anyone, I'll sew this part and come back and sew this part. So yeah, that's it. Then the next thing we're going to sew is the necklines. So to do that, I'm going to just do an X and make sure I divide this into two, split into uniform two. Then that's it like this. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch the parts together. The first part I'm going to stitch with my segments into is this part and this part. I'm going to go ahead and stitch this part and this part as well. So the same thing, this part and this part, and also this part and this part. So as you can see, the hoodie has like a cross line itself. So well, before I do that, I'm just going to simulate this to see how it drapes, if I like the way it drapes or if I don't like the way it drapes. So I feel I want to make it a bit wider than what it is. So I'm just going to use my cube, select this, and just increase the length, and in fact increase the height, and reduce the length a bit, and simulate this. Yeah, wait for it to simulate and wait for it to kind of like drop to make sure like this is what I want. So this is how to make like a basic hoodie. This is how to make a basic hoodie to make sure that it drops. So now that I am sure that this thing drops, I'm going to go ahead and create the X. And also I think the neckline of this one is a bit wide, so I can reduce the neckline by just selecting Z and selecting like this 2 point and just having something like this, and also trying to increase this a bit. And yeah, not too much, but just a little bit. Then yeah, let's go ahead and work on the neckline for the hoodie. So I'm going to select my edit pen tool and locate the front, locate the sewing to the hoodie, which is this one, and try to move this one here, and also locate the next one and try to move it here as well. Then I'm going to simulate and see how that looks. So yeah, this is it. Um, I think it's too wide, so I'm going to try and reduce like the size and the height a bit, just a little bit. So yeah, let's do that. And with our Q, select both of them, reduce the size and reduce the height just a little bit, and if possible, this one a little bit, and simulate. So yeah, this is how perfect woody the way we want it. So remember, I'm working with like a very high particle distance, and you also need to reduce your particle distance. Also, I think I don't like this part. It's protruding too much. So I'm just going to work on that a little bit, and yeah. So I think I will probably just use this. Um, let's use this one and see. I'll just click on this and try to bring it down a bit and see. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, I think it's better now. Yeah, it's way better than what we had. And yeah, if I reduce the if I reduce the if I reduce the what do they call it? If I reduce the particle distance, it becomes like way more better. So yeah, so I think mm, let's just tweak it a bit, something like this. So so I think we got that already, and the next thing is let's just go ahead and reduce the particle distance to probably a 10. Then let's simulate and see. Okay, so I think this is way better and way smoother. So I don't want to drag it all the way to the head. I'm just going to try to shift it back a bit and make sure like it drapes. Yeah. So this is for the hoodie. Um, so this is for the hoodie part of things. The next thing we are going to want to do is the back, which is the way this back look like, and that's probably like the final thing. So we have already come to the end of this tutorial. We just need to do the final thing. You guys saw like the draping, the styling, and everything. So this is how you can get like this type of style. The sleeves, I'm more excited about the sleeves, and the bob. If you want to do like a bob dress, this is how you can kind of like do your bob. So you work on your material to make it more full or less full depending on how you want it. So this is how you can do like all these things. And the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is the back. So for you to do the back, you have to determine where you want to put certain things, which is what we would do right away. So we'll locate the back. This is the back. Then I'm going to use my Z to select this. And so what I do this time around is I'm going to remove the link editing on this pattern. But before I do that, I like to say, let's save this project because we haven't saved. So let's say save project, and we are going to just name this 8. We can just name this an 8, and like, yeah, let's save it. So it's saving, and it's saved. So the next thing we're going to do is select this point and just right click on it and do no, you're not selecting the point. So Z to select this. So okay, I think firstly a Q to remove the link editing that we have on it here. Since that is gone, then a Z next. Then you right click and you do add EQ equidistant internal line. I can't pronounce that very well, but it means just create like several parallel lines. So let's do a 200, I think. Let's see where 200 is. 200 is way just above. Let's do an 100. 100 is too much. A 50. Okay, a 50 is way too much as well. A 30. is way too little. So we can leave the 30, to be honest. We can leave the 30 and yeah, we can leave the 30. Let's do 230s. No, 230s is too much. Let's just do one. We can leave the 30. So this one would serve as this one on the lower part. So I don't need this point, so we can just convert to curve point. So let's now then select this and do um, the same thing, but this time around let's do a 5. Let's see how a 5 looks like. It's too much. A 2 is too much. A 1, yeah, I think a 1 should be perfect. Yeah, so let's do a 1. Then we are also going to extend this up again, so because you can see like we have another one by the side, so you can just select this one and do Ctrl C, Ctrl V to whatever point you feel it should be. So for me, I'm just going to leave it here, and I'm going to move this one down a bit, something like this. Then I'm going to create another one in the middle. And also, I kind of like think the one is too wide, like the one we have is too wide. So what I can do to that is I'll just go ahead and delete like this one and just click on this one and do right click and do hard this, and let's see how is 0.5 looks like. Yeah, I think I'll do 0.5. It doesn't look that bad, but I think if 5 is too wide, we can try 0.7. 0.7 so hard. Let's just try 0.7. 0.7. Okay, 0.7 it is. Then I'm gonna do the same thing for this one as well. Just delete this one, right click on this one and do a 0.7. So I think I'll do this one like this. Okay, so I'm going to delete this as well and do a 0.7, right click and add, yeah, a 0.7. This should be okay, default of no. Okay, yeah. So then I'll go ahead and select all those points, 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 and then right click and do extend trim to pattern outline. Yeah, and that's it. We have it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and cut this pattern. So I'm going to select this one and this one and this one. Is that the right one to select? I don't think so. I think I should select this one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do right click, oh no, Ctrl Z. I'm going to go ahead with shift and right click and do cut. Hopefully I'm cutting the right ones and we don't, so I think I'm going to go ahead and delete this two out of the way. Yeah, I actually cut the right one. So let's try to simulate and see. Oh, so I think this is way too much. I cut it way too much. Um, so what can we do? I cut it way too much. It's too much because you can see our pants is too low. So I can just do a few Ctrl Z and try to move this one up. So I can try to move this one up like this, and this one as well. Can try to reduce the distance between these things and like this, so we don't have that, we don't have the bum bum showing because the intention was not to show the bum bum. So let's try again. I'm going to hold this, I'm going to hold this and cut this first. So let's just cut this two first and see. So I'm going to hold down shift, right click and just cut. So yeah, So let's simulate this. Okay, this is really white already, which I naturally don't want. I think it's too wide because by the time I go ahead and cut this, it would be extremely wider. So yeah, let's just do one thing. Let's move all this up. Let's move all of them up. Yeah, like this. Okay. Okay, and let's reduce the distance we have between them to something like this. And I'm going to do this one too. To be honest, I don't want it to be like so wide. Um, because yeah, the style is not so wide, so we are trying to like maintain that. So let's extend to trim outline. So let's select this and select this as well. I think I'll cut this lower part first. Cut and see. Oh, this is not cutting for a reason. Okay, this needs to be extend to trim outline, and this needs to be cut. So let's cut this. Also, okay. So let's see. Okay, this is getting better. So let's cut this and okay, I think I need to extend this to trim outline. No, that's my mistake. Select all this and trim outline. So select this one, select this one, and right click and then cut. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Okay, so I think this is way better. So this is way better than what we were getting initially. I'm just going to adjust the width a bit of this and yeah, so this is way better than what we were initially getting. Okay, yeah, just few adjustments like this. So this is way better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the particle distance of this as well to a 10. Then I'm going to double click on this two and right click and do um I want to add lining to it, so that's what I'm going to do. So generate lining, and I'm going to generate lining inside, so something like this. Yeah, then I'm going to simulate this, so you can see this becomes more durable. You can see the lines. You can see, I'm just going to zoom this for you guys to see. You can see how this is becoming like really nice when I kind of like try to. So these are like details you can give your stuff. Like for an example, I can add like more details to the neckline, the hoodie as well. I can find a way to also um generate lining for it and just fill it under and just simulate it as well. So yeah, things like this gives more gives more detailing to what you're doing. So you can cut the neckline as well to give it more detailing depending on how you want it. But yeah, for us this is like the end of today's live section. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys gain one or two things. And yeah, for proper getting of this back, you might want to use some measurement to get it and not like make it as wide as we have initially. But yes, this is how to create like things like this and go around it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this Twitch. I hope you enjoyed this live section. Like I said, follow me on YouTube. Try to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitch, and also if you want to start using Style3D, the link is on the chat, and I'm also going to drop the link on the YouTube live when I try to edit it and put some wordings into it. But yes, you guys can actually enjoy Style 3D. It's a very nice software. I'm still exploring it as well. So if there's anything you guys want us to do next section, you guys can let me know and we can dive right into it. But before we go, yeah, we can dive right into it. Next week we can try to do some animations in Style 3D, and we're using Style 3D avatar and having it in Blender. But for today, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys have learned one or two things from today's Twitch. And yeah, see you guys next week. I'm going to try as much as possible from now on to make sure that all this content, you guys are seeing like the full work, and they are going on my channel. I'll post the shots. I'll always post the shot of the work, of the full work on YouTube, and you see like the full one on Instagram. So also follow me on Instagram at Adiat Atelier, Adiat underscore Atelier, and also at Adi underscore art. And you can follow me on Twitch as well. Try to subscribe to my channel. See you guys next week, same time, 8 p.m. CEST. Bye.